Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Homestead. I'm down by the old gate today, and there's cats playing everywhere. So if you hear rustling and running and the camera's knocked over, it's going to be my cats playing in the driveway. Standing here with my Bible. We're going to do another Standing on the Promises video. I did my first religious Christian video last week, and the support and outreach was amazing. We had people commenting right and left. We had people sharing. We had people just everything. And when you do that, guys, it's spreading the outreach of Christianity. That's all I'm doing, is talking about Christianity here in daily life lessons on a homestead, normal stuff. This is a homesteading channel, but this also, I'm showing you my life, and that is my life. So hopefully it will impact somebody. These are not monetized. You should see no ads in these videos whatsoever. I watched the last one, there were no ads, so very good. No money was collected off of it. These are non-profit. It's just me and you talking, okay? Let's spread the word. And I thought all week, well, what can I talk about? You know, I really, after that one video, I felt so encouraged. I started thinking, like, what can I talk about? The more I thought about topics to talk about, the more complicated this was getting. And the last one was so good to me because it was so simple. And it was daily things that were happening. So I'm going to talk to you today about something daily. There goes the camera shaking. That no one wants to talk about. Come on, kitty, get away. They're all at the bottom of this camera. I'm going to talk to you about a topic that no one wants to talk about, really. Everybody has trouble with in Christianity, and that is forgiveness. Guys, there is no way that you could go 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, whatever, 1 day without trying to ignore something, especially on a homestead. Ignore and forgive something. It's hard. It's hard. It is so hard. You have animals fighting amongst each other. You've got stuff that's just aggravating. You've got, you know, daily life, work, family, in-laws, outlaws, friends, wasn't friends, acquaintances, people from the past. You've got, you know, so many things, okay, that we're around so much. There's no way that you're not going to get offended or your feelings hurt at some point in time. And let me say this. I don't think it's good to be just overly sensitive to every little thing. But I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of one of those people, or I've been told I'm one of those people. I don't think that that's right either. I don't think we should tell people whether their emotions are right or not. I think if you feel offended by something, then it's probably legitimate to you. You've got to look at the source of what's offending you. You've got to look at what it is. Was it an ugly comment? Was it a, you know, something really bad? Is it something you can probably get over with in an hour? Is it something that may take a week, 2 weeks, a year? I don't know. But either way, I do know that Jesus Christ commands us to forgive. It's so hard. It's so hard to me. I would be a hypocrite if I stood here and told you, hey, yeah, I forgive somebody like that. It's hard. Some stuff's easy, some stuff's hard. Married couples, me and my husband, we rarely ever argue. If we do, it's usually not even about us. It's about something that just really doesn't even matter. There's nobody that's married that's never argued. There's not. It just does not happen. But if we do, we're made up within a day or by night, usually within the hour. You know why we're made up so easily and we forgive so easily? It's because we love each other. I truly love him, and he truly loves me. You don't want to be mad at somebody that you love so much, or if you are mad, it seems like you just get over it so quick because you love them and you don't want to be fighting with them. If you love somebody, you don't want to be fighting with them. You're going to fight. It's going to happen. You're going to disagree. I'm not talking about physically fighting. I'm talking about arguing. It's going to happen. Siblings will argue. You know, and a lot of times they forgive each other easily, quickly. Parents and children, you know, it happens all the time. But I know with my husband, it's quick. You know, hey, we're fine. We'll be standing there and like, why are we even mad at each other? You know, come on, we love each other. We shouldn't be doing this. Each one, the longer that they hold on to the principle that I'm right. If I stand here and think, hey, I'm right, the harder it's going to be for me to forgive him. And if he thinks the same about me. And I'm just using us as an example. I don't know when the last time we fought was, but maybe tonight since I'm mentioning it, knock on wood. But it happens. It happens. It shouldn't happen, but it happens. It's human life. But again, I know it's a whole lot easier to move on if you love someone. And this, if you're angry at a lot of people, or if you're angry at certain people for things they've done, that kind of lets you know your love meter in your heart about that person, to me, personally. For my husband, it's to capacity. But if somebody has hurt my feelings and they've done this over and over and over, that meter may be kind of low. And it should be high. I should love them. I should love them. And this lets you know, this is kind of a self-diagnostic test to let you know how you're doing here. I've got a lot of work to do. I really do. I think a lot of us do. Jesus says to love, and we should. And I know if I loved everybody like my husband and cared about their feelings and cared about them and their soul and eternity, it'd be so much easier to forgive. And if I ever feel like I'm at fault with someone, if I've hurt them or anything, I will go up to them. I'll try to make it right. I'll call them up. I'll do whatever I can. I've even asked people like, hey, what have I done to you? Is there anything I've done to you? How can I make it right? Because I really do care. I have done that quite a few times. And the response you get may be varying in degree. Some people act like there's no problem, even though they really do act like there's a problem. At that point, to me, you've done the best you can do. Not only do we need to give forgiveness, but a lot of times we need to ask forgiveness. And I ask forgiveness from my Savior every day. But I've asked forgiveness from people too. I don't want them to feel bad at me or me do anybody wrong. Forgiveness is a two-way street. And, a lot of times when you do go to people and try to make things right, you will get a good response. But a lot of times you won't. At that point, you've done all you can do. Just try not to ever hurt them again. And it shows that you care. It shows that you care. Why did Jesus ask us to forgive? The best thing that I can tell you, in the Bible, he says forgive. He says to love. It's so hard. A lot of times it's easy, but a lot of times it's hard. It's so hard. I feel like personally, I don't know. I'm just telling you personally, I feel like he wants us to forgive because if you don't forgive somebody, you're elevating yourself. You're elevating yourself. You're considering your own feelings. You're considering yourself. It's me, 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 me. And it's not, if you're just stiff-necked and you're not giving someone a pass and forgiving them and saying, look, I forgive you. You're not being humble. You're not an humble servant. I'm talking to myself as much as you guys, okay? I'm like, hey, girl, listen to what you're saying. You have to say it sometimes. You have to say it and get it out. Because if you don't, then I have to say what I feel sometimes. And again, these videos are helping me. To be a more humble servant of Christ, I need to come down off my high horse and forgive people. I need to forgive them quick. What have I done in the past to rectify this and amend it? What I've done is I've prayed for them. The Bible says to pray. Pray for your enemies. And there's been truly people that have done things to me that I would consider them an enemy. So, really, I shouldn't, but I like, hey, this person has done wrong. I've prayed for them, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of times I've prayed, and it's the same feeling the next day. I've prayed, and it's the same feeling I've got the next day if I ever think about that person or what they've done. And I try to do it out of sight, out of mind. Just not think about it. Just say, hey, I forgive. But I'm going to tell you, it seems like to me, the Lord will put distance between you and the offender a lot of times. He'll let time rock on. If you keep praying for them and genuinely pray, and pray to forgive them, and pray that they're blessed. I've done that. I've prayed that people that have done me wrong, I've prayed blessings over them. Let them be blessed. Maybe they're in a bad circumstance. I have tried to rationalize why they would have done what they did. Maybe they're having a really bad home life. Maybe they're having a really bad day. Maybe there's a lot of things we just don't know. I'm trying to be a fair and humble human and not be judgmental. And again, it's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. You know, in society, it's all cute and funny, like Medea. If they got me, then I'm gonna get them. You know, that's supposed to be cute and funny, but it's really not. And people pride themselves on that, or TV actors like, hey, well, I'm just, you know, I'm mad all the time, and that's just me. People love that. People have coffee mugs with their face on it, and I'm like so and so off this TV show, and I'm just gonna tear the place up and be mad and all that. We're not supposed to be that way. We're really not. Society pushes a lot of this on us, and we start feeling haughty and powerful if we act like that. Like, hey, I'm so important, and I'm gonna make you pay for what you've done to me. You know, we can't be like that. We should not be like that. We should not. If you sit back and look at people that hold grudges, if you really do, or if you've ever met anybody that's held a grudge, look at that person and see how happy they are. You know, like I said, the love meter. See how that love meter's doing. See the happiness meter on that person. If you're holding a grudge for decades, that is taking up part of your life that could be spent doing other things. The Lord doesn't want us running around sad. He does not want us running around angry. He wants us happy, thankful, be worshiping, be praising. It's hard to do all this when you're angry, holding grudges, temperamental. It's real hard. Or even if you're sad, we've got something to be thankful for every day. And again, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you guys. And I think a lot of this gets better with age and maturity. It's a whole lot easier now for me to forgive somebody than it was 5 years ago. And when I say forgive somebody, I mean, like, they have just done something that you would never even imagine to you. Or, you know, and it's worse. I'm telling you, society is bad. People are behaving like they have never behaved before in my book. I may be wrong. They may have done a lot worse. I'm saying of recent times, people do not have respect for human life anymore. People do not stay in the Word. How can you do the Word and what it says if you're not around it every day? I'm guilty of that too. To me, I feel like if I don't read the Bible in a couple of days, like, hey, you know, I'm starting to act differently. I'm starting to get angrier. I'm not exposed to it. You have to get on TV and actually select a Christian channel to watch anything Christian anymore. You have to turn it on a Christian radio station to hear anything Christian anymore. You have to selectively choose this stuff. It's not incorporated into our daily lives anymore. I saw where Louisiana just voted yesterday to put the 10 Commandments back in school. That's awesome. I hope it goes through. Influencing us, especially at a young age. I bet there's a lot of kids today that don't know the 10 Commandments. They don't. But there again, now this is the hard part. And this is so prevalent right now, especially this year where everything is political. I've got my views. I think all of us would probably agree. Most of us would agree on the same views. But guys, we've got to forgive. We've got to forgive. And we've got to pray for those that are not doing right. We need to. Do you know how hard that is? I'm sure we all do. It's hard. It's hard. It is so hard. But why wouldn't you pray for them? Think about it. Would you not want them to change? I think we get to a point where we're so resentful towards people that, you know, we just want them, you know, like out of a political office. No, I just want you out and I want somebody else in. It don't hurt to pray for them while they're there. It doesn't. It can't hurt, okay? It can't. We're supposed to do this. Like, hey, you may have made 500 bad decisions, but I hope today that your heart's softened enough to make one, you know, morally decent decision. Please, change your heart. How many times in the Bible, you think about this, there again, you got to be in the Word. How many times did the Lord harden leaders' hearts, and how many times did He soften their hearts? Think about all throughout history. Think about that. It can happen. We need to forgive. We need to pray. We need to wish everyone well. It's hard. Guys, this is tough. It's tough, but I am making a conscious effort to do that more. And guys, we have got to get in the Word. The Word, I've heard this more the past couple months than I've ever heard in my life. This is the living Word. This looks like a book sitting on an old fence post. I cannot open this without it impacting me some way. I cannot open this book without it impacting me differently each time I open it. I cannot stand by this book and talk about this book without it just feeling like I don't even know who's talking right now. I don't even know who's talking right now. That's the Lord working on me. And it's for the good. It's like the closer you even stand to it, the better you feel. Every time you feel that old leather in your hand, you know what's in that book. You know. There's something about it. We've got to be in the Word more. And in the Word, we've got to forgive. Guys, it's tough. It's tough. I know. You're not telling me nothing. I know what you're thinking. Y'all may be thinking, hey, we forgive everybody for everything. It's no trouble. No problem. But for me, it's tough. And we've got to do better. I'd like to read from Matthew. And the reason that I wanted to do forgiveness, again, this is a daily thing. Especially homesteading. You will have so many situations where there's love, there's sadness, there's anger, there's forgiveness, just so much. Anytime that you're living off the land and you're having a closer relationship with God, it will improve you, but it will make you aware of how you're acting when you're away from other people. Or if you're kind of by yourself doing your own thing, it makes you realize just what all goes on. So I'm going to read from Matthew 5, verse 43 in the King James Bible. Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And then he goes on in Matthew 6, forgive. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive. I say unto you, I'm going to go back to this, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. That right there, Matthew 5, verse 44. It's tough. But when he said in 46, for if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? There's no ethical strength or moral strength in loving someone that loves you. That's like I said, me and my husband. It's so easy to forgive him. Oh yeah, it's so easy because I love him with all my heart. My husband, same with him. It's so easy. But if someone has just really been just terrible to you, that's when the rubber meets the road. And are you going to let it eat you up your entire life, holding a grudge and not forgiving and not claiming that reward? Or are you going to claim that reward and say, hey, I'm going to love you, I'm going to forgive you, I'm going to move on from this, and I'm going to pray for you, I'm going to pray that you're blessed. That right there is what Jesus said. That right there is tough. That's tough. But for someone to do that, just know, that takes moral strength, and that takes courage, and that takes high intellect to be able to do that when somebody truly hurts you. That takes a strong, strong person. And that, to me, on the love meter and the happiness meter, if you can do that, then your tank's pretty full. If you're able to stand there and do that to others. And I hope one day, I'm like that. I feel like I've overcame a lot of obstacles. I'm happy with what I've done. I'm happier. I spend that time instead of holding a grudge praising the Lord or just enjoying what He's created for me and Himself. I feel much more at peace. He wants us at peace. He doesn't want us in turmoil. Guys, think about it. Be that person. Claim that reward. Love you guys. We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead.